You know, sometimes in adversity, you find beauty and you find what really matters, the important things. And even though I don't really want to keep going on about it, I think this is what this situation that we find ourselves in now has taught me and has shown me. And I think it's shown a lot of people, and I hope that it continues to, that since we've been in lockdown, we've spent a lot more time, as all families, we've spent a lot more time in each other's company, and we've spent, because we've had to, it's been a forced, semi-forced environment, and we've had to. And it's helped, it's kind of brought realisation to mind. It's shown us that the important things are each other, and that people are actually being kind to each other and showing love to each other and concern. Sorry about the noise in the background. And this is something that I hadn't seen much of in quite a few years, to be honest. And certainly not to the extent that I'm seeing it now. Just bear with me a second. So it's given me, I'm sorry about that, it's kids. These are the things that I've found that I've kind of lost the connection with the children. And even though it drives me insane most of the time, it's important, and it's one of those things that I probably not concentrated on enough in the past, and I now find that I am. I thought I was doing the right things, and I thought I was going in the right direction. And it's only now that I've had this quiet time to reflect and spend with my family, that I realise that those things I wasn't doing. I was concentrating too much on not the world, but the false activity of the world. I was concentrating too much on getting my head down, and I was concentrating too much on thinking I was doing the right thing for my family and with my family than not doing it. And that's because that's what modern society has taught us. But as I say, this virus, this situation at the moment has made it so that we can reflect and we can concentrate on the important things. And, you know, I find that we're doing more things together and communally. Even though we're apart as a family and friends, communally, I'm more connected to my friends and family than I was prior to this situation. And that can only be a great thing, you know. Which is proof in the pudding, isn't it? That the things that really matter are things that, the real things that really matter, are the priceless things which cost nothing. The important things. You know, even to the point where going for a walk in the countryside or going for a walk in the woods and seeing a river or hearing a babbling brook, it's clarified itself, or the clarity of it has become so much more than it had previously. And I thought that, well, I have always been connected to nature. We're all connected to nature, but I've realised my connection to nature and the natural world. But I've only really sat down and had time to breathe and think about it properly in these last few weeks. I mean, for example, this morning I was looking out of the bedroom window, and where we are, there's a small woodland, and you can look into it. It's absolutely lovely. And there were squirrels, and they were sort of dancing around the trees, chasing each other. And I was looking at them and thinking, you know, that's true freedom. They're enjoying just being squirrels. And that's something that we don't enjoy, just being humans anymore. We've lost that. There's so many false idols that we admire, whether it be movie stars or whether it be the latest products that come onto the market. There's so many things that are not important that we invest too much time in, and we shouldn't, and we lose the reality and the truth of what really does matter. And as I say, it's this time of reflection that I've been given, and I know I'm waxing melancholy, and you know, because that's how I feel. I feel that I've genuinely found things that I never saw before, or I knew were there, and I always strove to find them, but I just couldn't in the whole turmoil and melee of what was going on. Just didn't have time. I just couldn't concentrate on the reality of what mattered. And you see that, you know, the planet's healing in such a way that it hasn't, well, certainly not in my time. It's never been as good healthily as it is now, I don't think. You know, mass productions, I know it's people's jobs and what have you, but I think, and they are important, of course they're important, but I think that more importantly, or just as important, is the health of the planet and the health of us. We only rely on these things because we've learned to rely on them. We've made ourselves rely on them. We've become dependent upon them. You know, and going to work and working, you know, there's nothing wrong with going to work. Of course there isn't. We all need to toil to some level. But it got to the point with a lot of people, I think, where toil was all they had in their life. And they missed opportunities, which they've now been given back. And this is great. This is wonderful. So there is silver linings out there. You know, irrespective of how you feel at the moment and how bad it gets and how depressed or down you feel, just think of the beauty that we found and how wonderful it is. I mean, again, looking at the woodland, looking at the trees, and I was watching the tree and just studying it and thinking, you know what? You've grown naturally. Nobody's told you how you should live or what you should do to make yourself a better quality of life. It's just come to you naturally. You've come from the ground, you've grown up, you've been there for many, many decades, probably centuries, and probably for many more centuries. And nobody can dictate terms to you. You are the personification of freedom. And I think that's something that we've lost. We've lost that natural order. We've lost that connection. And we've put ourselves, if you like, into this prison of our own making and of our own greed. And it's not important. Not important at all. And that's the realisation that I have now. I know it sounds very poetical, which is something that you probably won't get from me. Well, you haven't probably had from me before, and you won't get from me again, I would think. I don't know. But these are poetical times, I think. These are times for making those connections. And I hope that once this has gone and it's blown over, that we don't forget the reality of the truth. And the truth is that we need each other. And the truth is that we need to be kind to each other and love each other. And we need to be kind to our planet, our home. And I hope that the seas and the rivers don't get filled up with crap anymore. And I hope that there isn't oil in the lakes. And I hope that there isn't rubbish just chucked into the canals. And I hope that we see animals that we haven't seen for a long time colonising nature and coming back, and the natural order of things should take over, and I hope they do. I hope that we realise that that's the important thing. Anyway, I'm sorry I've ranted on for too long. I just wanted to, they're just my thoughts, and I thought that I would get them out there to you and just share them with you, whether you wanted them or not. But that's how I feel at the moment. I feel that, you know, the things that we lost and the things that became clouded, this situation at the moment has allowed the fog to lift and see the real truth. That's it really. So that'll be my video for today. I've not been making as many videos as I should be or have been, because there hasn't been anything to make one about, really. Everything's been pretty much of a muchness, and I don't want to get to the point, as I've said numerous times before, of just making content for the sake of making it. And it's also one of them things that the less time I spend doing this, which is important to me and I do love, because it's kind of a therapy form, particularly at the moment, the less time I get to spend enjoying my family. And that's really what it's about, isn't it? But let's keep those connections. Let's keep these friendships. Let's keep this love. Let's keep this concern and admiration and realising people's true worth going. And let's keep it going into or beyond this situation. Anyway, that's it. I won't bang on too much. Take care of each other. I'll speak to you all very, very soon. Stay healthy and happy. Bye, guys.